Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. My name is Mark Priggy. I'm with Zillow Preview. I've been with Zillow for it'll be 13 years this September, which I don't know is good or bad, but I started in Dotloop, got acquired by Zillow, and I was there for 12 years, and then I've been with Preview for since March. So still fairly new, but things change a lot. But we got a good rhythm going now. But Siobhan, do you know, like, if you could, like, gauge as far as agents go, do you think they have an idea what preview is, or is this going to be basically brand new information to them?
I think it's brand new information.
Brand new information? Okay. So, most important thing and why I like this job is I'm not selling anything. So, that's a weight off my shoulder and one thing that to worry about. So, it's free. But basically, what it is, it's a pre MLS listing marketing strategy. So Zillow Preview is not connected to the MLS at all. So we sort of have to abide by the rules that your MLS sort of requires. And I would say most of the time it's on the low end, like 24 hours, one business day. And you've got some states, it's like 20 days, 2 weeks. So it just kind of varies. So um, a lot of the agents, is it Bright MLS?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think for Bright, I believe it's 2 business days. Let me double check. So it says it can be used up to 2 calendar days for preview. So I would say just double check, but that's usually, I mean, what we have here is usually pretty accurate, but a lot of that is changing, usually for the positive. So a lot of them are extending that out to have it be a little bit extended, which is nice. So I just kind of have like some like bullet point things I'll talk about with preview, and then I'll kind of log into your guys' account and show you how to set one up. It's very easy to do, and if we have any questions, feel free to ask them whenever. So the where I've had a lot of success in preview my conversations since I've been here, a lot of it's been that listing price that you need to set. So every seller thinks their house is worth $10 million. We know that's not the case, but as a listing agent, you sort of have to have that soft touch with that conversation because ultimately, you don't want to offend them. You don't want to go too low. You don't want to go too high and kind of have a crazy number out there. But that being said, preview allows you to get a little bit greedy with the list price because once you go live in the MLS, that information will not pull over. So like the original list price, views, stuff like that. So that won't pull over to the MLS listing, which is kind of a positive to you. So yes, I'm sorry, it's days on Zillow and price history. So views and saves will pull over, but days on Zillow and price history will not. And why that's the reason I like that so much is because you can list at something maybe higher than what you would normally recommend for that seller and then see how much activity you get on it, and then based on that activity, once you go live on the MLS, you can either leave it at that price or you can go a little bit lower. So it just kind of depends on each situation, anecdotal experience. But when I sold my house 3 years ago, we listed it. They had 3 offers over the weekend. I thought we listed it too high, but in hindsight now, it's like, well, what could we have listed it as to see what we would have gotten? So it's just one of those things, and obviously every agent's going to have that conversation with their seller about that, and then sort of take next steps to figure out what's going to work for them. So another perk of this is there's a revenue share aspect of it. So when the buyer is on Zillow and they see the preview listing, there's 2 buttons they can click. The first one is connect to the listing agent, contact listing agent. The second one is set up a tour, which will kind of in turn set them up with a Zillow preferred agent. So if they go that route, the Zillow preferred agent route, and they close on that property or any other property within 9 days, the listing agent will get 10% of the commission from the Zillow preferred agent that comes from Zillow. So once again, this costs nothing to use, but there is aspect of giving revenue back based on if the buyer clicks on that icon to set up a tour or work with a Zillow preferred agent. So that's kind of where that comes into play. So those are kind of the 2 main bullet points. As far as like the setup, it's very easy to do. I added myself as a user, so let me just pull it up on my end and then I'll kind of share my screen here and go through this. So, and I can work with Siobhan, but based on like where you guys are, you have a Zillow Pro account right now. How many people are active? It's sort of hard to tell. I think there are a couple showcase listings in there. Looks like we got one for May, July, another one in July. So for the 108 people on here, obviously that's not a lot, but Zillow Pro is where you would input the information that would then put it on Zillow Preview, and eventually it'll be on Realtor.com, I imagine. In the short term, that's going to come up. We just have to have some new agreements signed. So
everyone has to have a Zillow Pro account, every agent, or
yeah, to input it, you need a Zillow Pro account, which is already set up. It's just a matter of logging in. So depending if they've been in there or not, because I can kind of go through. Let me just share my screen, make it easier here. So sort of this is like the back end here. And if I go to members, you have a list here. So you have people that have been invited, some are active. So depending how you want to do this, like even after this call, I can like resend the invitations so they can get like acquainted with it. But as far as setting up a preview, it's very easy to do. But half the battle sometimes is just getting logged in, obviously with the correct email and all that jazz, and resetting the password. But for the most part, fairly easy process. But when I was at Dotloop, that was obviously a constant battle, just getting people logged in there with the right information. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up. I edit myself as an admin. So once everyone eventually gets in, I would highly encourage you try to do this if you have one, like do it tomorrow. And then if that's the case, you could go live like on Tuesday. Obviously, have the conversation with your leadership team, but it's available and turned on for you right now. It's just a matter of using it. So if I go to add listing here, and then I'll just do my last house here. And then I'll archive this once I'm done, obviously. But I just hit add listing, hit here. I don't need that one, listing agent. Okay, so the ones with the asterisk are just like the required fields. And that'll be the same with like when you input the information. And then I'm about to get this as well, but another part of like the marketing strategy in my mind is kind of come up organically. When you input like the photos for the property in Zillow Preview, you're only required to upload one photo. So it's not a situation where you have to upload like 25, 30. You can, but I think half the fun with Preview is like you're sort of teasing the property out there. So I would recommend maybe just doing 1, 2 photos. So when I bought my house 3 years ago when we moved, I saw it on Facebook first before I saw it on Zillow. And my friend whose brother-in-law was selling it had like 3 photos on Facebook. And that was enough to get her like curiosity going to want to go see it. So my wife drove over there that next day. She's walking in the backyard. I'm like, what are you doing? But it kind of just gets the buyer excited to kind of see what else is out there. So that's just something, like I said, that's come up organically. You can upload as many photos as it allows, but I would recommend just kind of teasing it by showing a couple. All right, so if I go to add listing here, you have here publish your Zillow Preview listing. Edit your listing. So it's basically just going to have you put in the required fields on here. So some of this on here for my account, I don't have a MLS membership, so you'd have to put a MLS membership on here in order to create one. But basically, you just fill out all the information. Like I said, it has the asterisk on it here. So you have one here, and it's not like probably take you total about 5 minutes to do it, but it'll fill out some of the information for you, as you can see. Obviously, those remarks are always fun to kind of put in there. But yeah, it doesn't take very long at all. Very easy to do. And then once you fill this all out, you just go down to publish to Zillow, and then it will show up on there. So I'm going to pause my screen for 1 second, and then I will show you one that's live. My buddy in Tennessee. So let me just look this up real quick. Okay, so this one has since been replaced, but it's the same idea as far as how it's going to look. The only difference, it'll say Zillow Preview. So let me just show you here. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So he went from Zillow Preview to Coming Soon. So as we know, Coming Soon is connected to the MLS, but this was his preview listing. He added a couple more photos, but the only difference was it would say Zillow Preview is still coming soon, and he had 2 photos of the property. But since it's in coming soon now, he's added a couple more pictures on here, and so you can kind of see his views, his saves, all the regular information on here. And then also with preview, there's some like analytics info that you can pull up as well. So like sort of like traffic. So not just saves and views, but kind of the median price range of that particular market and stuff like that. And then also with your preview listings, you get bumped to the top of the queue. So once you publish that Zillow preview listing, you type in that zip code, that preview listing should be at the top. So that's another nice perk as well. So I'll try to find another like live preview listing, but while I'm doing that, do we have any questions at this point? Anything you want me to go back over? I know it's a lot of information.
Let me ask you a question. If the property, okay, some of the homes that you're going to be listing, if you're not suggesting that if we are, if the property is not finished, so is that because if I just get a preview for the property here in the Zillow and I'm working on it for some time, so how long I can put it before I just put it in MLS and make it active?
Yeah, once again, it depends. It's a great question, but it depends on your MLS. So the one we looked up before was, I thought it said 48 hours. So 2 calendar days. So I would say over 80% of people that are using Preview, the MLS rule is 1 business day. So what they're doing is they're listing on Preview on a Friday and going live on a Monday. But I would say just double check because this does change a lot, and it will just change your whole strategy once you know the exact rule. Because some of them are 24 hours, some of them are 1 business day. So obviously there's a little bit of a difference there, and we're always trying to get clarity because I don't want to tell you something and have to eat crow if I'm telling you the wrong info. So I hope that answers your question there.
Thank you. Absolutely. So we have to check with them. There's one more question. So doesn't this going to make consumer a little more confused? Because if I put the house in the market as a preview, and then since consumer are really used to calling the agents that they have the membership with Zillow, and then they're gonna say, oh, I want to see this house, I want to see this house, but we still have to follow MLS, law, right? Everything that because we cannot show these homes. So there is going to be kind of like commotion here, right? It is good for us because this is a preview, but at the same time, then the consumer is going to see, okay, that this house came in the market, so they're not going to be able to come and see the house. Is that what it is? So I don't know.
Well, there's an option. So once again, it kind of just depends on the MLS rules. I can't speak to every like MLS. I know some are a lot more flexible. If there's one in particular you want to shoot me over, I can investigate a little bit more. But it just sort of depends because if it is like a situation like we'll just use the 1 business day for example. So if you go live on Preview on a Friday and you have like a showing on a Saturday, if your MLS allows you to do that before it's live on the MLS, that's perfectly fine. It just depends. And like I said, I'm not trying to dodge the question. I just can't speak to like certain MLSs unless I have the information in front of me. So
maybe that's going to clear it. So this preview is more like coming soon. So this preview on Zillow is more like coming soon. So coming soon within MLS, we cannot show coming soon until it comes in MLS. And then it is active, then it's going to change into Zillow as an active, then we are going to be able to schedule the showing. So this is things, right?
You're asking some really good questions. So I had a presentation earlier today, and we had the similar conversation because a lot of it will be like your internal like strategy for the property. So for instance, like California, you could put it in preview for 21 days. And then I think you can go to coming soon after that. So in theory, depending where you are, you could put it on coming soon. Put it in preview and then in coming soon and then live on the MLS. So I can't speak to the strategy of what you want to do there, but a lot of the conversations I've had have been like going from preview to live on the MLS. Sometimes they want to do coming soon, but that just depends on like for instance, for you, do you use coming soon for every listing that you do right now?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So my question is, okay, so this portal is going to be more for preview with Zillow. So these are more like we have like pocket listings. Pocket listing means it's not even coming in the MLS, but now these pocket listings are coming within the Zillow preview. Is that the same thing? More like a pocket listing? We talk about it,
Yeah.
get promotions, but at the same time, we are not going to be able to show it because these homes are not listed via MLS.
Yeah, I mean, sort of.
That's my understanding. So
It's sort of like another great. It's sort of like the elephant in the room. Obviously, Zillow might not say this, but obviously this was a direct reaction to what Compass did. So this is something that really wasn't in the pipeline from what I know until Compass pulled out the pocket listing kind of marketing strategy that they're doing. Zillow simply, obviously they want traffic on Zillow, but they wanted other brokerages to have that same advantage to do that. To have that as an option. Like, do you need to do this for every listing? Obviously, we want you to do that, but that's up to you and your seller if you want to pull the trigger on that. But as far as the showing the house in the particular time frame, that is something based on your rules you have to like figure out. Because I can tell you what Zillow Preview can do, but as far as MLS, I just don't want you to get in trouble if I tell you something wrong.
Hey Mark, I have a question. Hey Mark,
Hello.
yeah, this is Ben. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
So when you go live on Bright MLS, like active, does it you have to come back and update your Google Zillow preview status, or it does it automatically?
Great question. It'll replace it. So we have, I can look up an account in Zillow Pro. There's a preview status. If it says replace, that means it was in preview, and then once it's put in the MLS, it'll overtake the preview listing. So you won't have to worry about deleting anything. It'll automatically overtake the preview listing.
Oh, okay. And then the 10% that Zillow is offering, how would you know, that the listing was sold by a Zillow Premier agent?
That's all. That's the whole gist of it. Is like all that is tracked internally on our end. So in order for the revenue payout to happen, they would have to go through the. It says in Zillow Preview, it says set up a tour, connect with Zillow Preferred Agent. Because the other option is set up a listing agent. If they go through that one, obviously you can still communicate with them, but the revenue aspect of it comes through the Zillow Preferred Agent set up a tour button.
Oh, okay. So once that's set up, I'm saying, how would we know that this transaction, is with a Premier agent, and how does that work? How does the 10% work? Does it go to the brokerage? Does it go to the listing agent? Like, I'm just trying to understand the revenue.
Yeah, it goes to the brokerage, and the brokerage would pay out from there. But like that is the motivating factor for the Zillow Preferred Agents to do it, because that will connect them with that buyer to set up a tour for that property. And then the listing agent doesn't have to pay anything. They just get part of the commission of the buying agent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. So if we list it with Zillow Preview, do we have to upload it on MLS, or what if we decide if we get someone who wants to buy?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what happened to me. The house I bought never hit the market. We looked at it and we bought it before it was on the MLS. And not to be a broken record, but I don't know what the MLS rules are for each MLS, but that is the main motivating factor for this, is to get that sale before it's on the MLS.
Okay.
These are great questions. You're making me work for it, but that's why we're here. I mean, it really is. I come at this as a biased point of view working here, but other than like the manual input, there aren't a ton of cons to it. You can pull it off, preview whatever you want, but the whole idea, if you just take one thing away from this call, the one thing I want you to take away is that you can get a little bit greedy with that original preview list price because you're not fully committed to it. And once you go live in the MLS, that data won't pull over. So they won't see that you listed it at $20,000 higher and then brought it down. You just have it in that particular time frame on preview at that price. And if it doesn't work out, you're not getting a lot of traffic, bring it back down to something you're more comfortable with.
Oh, okay. And then the preview price, there's no history, right? it doesn't keep Zillow doesn't keep that history.
The history that will pull over are the saves and views, but days on Zillow and price history that can be suppressed during preview. Days on Zillow visibility is an agent setting. So the only thing that will pull over are views and saves, but price history and days on Zillow that can be manipulated by the agent to change that if they want.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Anything you want me to go back over? Like I said, I know it's a lot of info, but you guys already have your pro account set up.
Let me say one more thing here. I'm so
No,
sorry.
please.
So what you're saying that, okay, I thought pocket listing, okay, we can sell, but if we do, if we put a house in a market in MLS coming soon, we can't show it, but now you're saying, so I think maybe we have to get another training from MLS to see how they can work with, so they can work with Zillow now, and then the Zillow and us, because we have license here, and we just want to make sure we do the right thing here. So now I think, I don't know, in my personal, understanding that I think Zillow is now taking over MLS kind of thing. So I just wanted to make sure that, we do the right thing here.
Yeah, like I said, this is exact reaction, even though some people won't say it won't, is to what Compass is doing, and we just want other brokerages. Like before we did this, Remax and Keller Williams came to us, not me, but came to Zillow and said, "Hey, is there anything you can do to sort of combat this? What Compass is doing?" Because it is something that is gained traction. Not a ton of people are using it yet, but every week we're adding like hundreds of more preview listings, and it's just becoming an option. And it's not something that you are required to do by any means, but it is just something that I would discuss with your seller and say, hey, we have this option to do this now. If they're all about it, go for it. If they don't want to do it, no big deal, but it's just another option for you as like your listing and kind of marketing strategy. So I know we had more time. I'm kind of send over some more info for you, but does anybody have like a listing they'd be curious to maybe do tomorrow or today to kind of test the waters out at all?
The lessons are already in MLS, so we go live.
I don't think so, not yet.
Not yet, no, not yet.
Okay.
I might have one. It's currently rented out, and my client is interested in selling. So we are going to market it to the investors. So maybe I can try that out here on this portal.
Yeah, I'd be happy to set that up with you if you want to do that today or tomorrow. I'm around, and like I said, it won't take very long. And if it goes great, we'll look like heroes. So yeah.
Okay, I'll connect with you later, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'm gonna send over a couple more info, and then let me find a preview listing, and I'll bring it over to you. So just give me a second here. All right, so here's another one in Tennessee. So let me pull it up for you. Okay, so just give me 1 second, sorry. Okay, here we go. So this one is in California, and they decided they went the route of adding more photos, which is completely fine. That's what they want to do, but it's going to say Zillow Preview, and here are the two icons I was talking about: Request a Tour and Contact Listing Agent. So this is where the revenue share aspect comes into play, is this Request a Tour. So if they click this, This is where they'll connect with a Zillow preferred agent. If they go the contact listing agent route, that revenue share won't apply. So this is where it comes into play. This is where it doesn't. But it's going to look like a normal Zillow listing, other than the Zillow Preview icon. They'll have the branding on there for the brokerage if they have that. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you that. Sorry, that took me so long to pull up. All right. Any other questions? Anything you want me to go back over? I'm happy to go over anything. No bad questions.
Yes, asking. I have a lot of questions. One more question.
Please.
So the preview, because we normally we put the house on the market coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for us to comply with MLS, so we put it as a coming soon. So that preview is a little confusing me. So if I have a house on the market, I want to put it as a coming soon. Then if I put it in Zillow and it's not in MLS, and then so the coming soon status is going to be taken over by the Zillow Preview now.
Correct. Yes. Zillow, because the coming soon, you wouldn't put that in the MLS, correct? Because it's connected to the MLS. That will then overtake the preview listing.
So, but then when I am just ready, but what if I just wanted to put my coming soon in my MLS and then the preview? How does it work this way? If I wanted to still keep going, put my house in the market as a coming soon, and then if I wanted to still do it for the Zillow preview, how does it work?
You have to. So if you don't start with preview, you can't go back to preview. So you have to start on preview first. If you do coming soon before preview, you can't undo that and go to preview. It has to start on preview first, and then it will go to coming soon, and then it will go live on Zillow after that. So I had that question earlier. You can't sort of go backwards. You have to start with preview and work up. So like if you have one on coming soon right now, you couldn't go back and put it in preview.
What is Zillow? Yeah. So what is the? I think that the Zillow is trying to change the coming soon for MLS, and then the MLS is. But again, depending on the sellers, if they wanted to accept, if they wanted to go with a preview with a Zillow, or they just wanted to stay with coming soon and MLS. So it's like the opportunity cost of doing things, right?
But you can put it on preview at a price that they might think that they want, and you think it's too high, and see how many hits you get. So that's a good thing with preview.
Yeah, that's not.
It is good for confused sellers then. Okay. That's what you're saying. For confused sellers or for sellers that they wanted to start really high price. So these are more for that kind of audience, because if they say that, hey, Farida, okay, just go ahead, put it for $15,000 or $20,000 more than what you are giving me your price opinion, and then if it doesn't happen, then you just put it back in in MLS.
And then once you put it to MLS, you put it at the price that you.
Yeah. So, but MLS is not going to show that high price. It's going to
no.
That's exactly right. So it doesn't. It like just.
Okay.
Yeah, one way to think about it too. It doesn't make you don't have to be the bad guy in the conversation, because you're saying like, hey, you wanted to list this at this price. Here's what we listed as. Here's how much traction we've got on it. And if it gets a bite, it takes one buyer. But if you're getting no traffic, then you can point to Zillow and say, hey, we're not really getting a ton of traffic on this. Why don't we lower it $10,000, $15,000? And like I said, that won't show up on Zillow. That won't show up because it's becoming a fresh MLS listing. That price change won't show up. So because we know how demoralizing it is. Like there's a property in the town over for me that they're listing it for something crazy, like every month down 5, down 10, down 20, and it's just not a great look. This way, you don't have to go through that process before it's on MLS. You listed that price, something higher, and then once you get that information about what you think you should list it as, then you can put it on MLS at a price you're more comfortable with. That makes sense.
What about those leads? If somebody comes in, the leads for my listing is going to come to the agents that they already have an account with you guys, or the leads are going to come to me?
It depends if you're a Zillow preferred agent. I mean, if you are the listing agent, you still get the commission, but the lead for the buyer would be the Zillow preferred agent. I'm not sure how that pecking order works as far as who gets that first, but that's who would get the option to show the property.
So this is Mark Farida. So this is a market share. This whole thing is just a market share. Zillow is trying to take over what Compass has been doing, Redfin is doing. Basically, that's why they're offering incentive. It's just market share. And then
Yeah, I mean, people just, I mean, obviously Zillow has some stake in it for traffic and such, but like a lot of the people that aren't Compass, they didn't have this option until Compass went the route they went. I mean, I don't know if I don't know if Zillow would have gone this route if Compass did do what they did. I'm not important enough to be in those meetings, but this is just an exact result of that, and it's worked out well. I mean, it's still very early on, but it's worked out well so far. We've had more success, like more listings than we thought we would at this point.
yeah, and I think that's why Bright and the MLS folks are changing the rules because they want to also have an advantage with this whole system, right? So if you look at the NAR lawsuit that happened, that's controlling everything right now, right? That lawsuit, with the sellers, they took over. NAR had to pay that large sum lawsuit. So right now, Compass became very creative. They're selling houses on your website. Bright MLS doesn't like it with the whole thing that Zillow is doing, so that's why they're letting you know to put your listing in within 48 hours.
Right.
It's just they are trying to figure out. It's just control. At the end of the day, it's just control. Who's going to control the market? It's not who's going to control more of the market. They don't really care too much about the client or whatever. So everybody's trying to control the market at the end of the day. So don't get too confused with this whole thing. It's very simple. If you do your coming soon month, you can choose. It's an option. You can choose to do your coming soon on Zillow or not. If you do it, they will offer you this incentive. If the preferred agent, if the client is looking at your listing, if they click on schedule a tour, it goes to Zillow. Zillow puts it into the preferred agent. If the preferred agent is able to sell it, you get your 10%. You move on. It's just all market share at the end of the day.
Sure. Thank you, Ben. I totally get it because NDR failed us as realtors here. So I totally get that. So somebody else has to come and kind of like take care of the business. I totally get that. Thank you so much, Ben.
But it helps with your marketing too because a lot of your clients goes on Zillow, right? So obviously there's a lot of sometimes there's a lot of clients they send you listings. You're like, oh man, where's the listing? It's not on MLS, right? So it's also good for you with marketing as well. So because like I said, majority of the consumers they're all on my own on Zillow, Trulia, Homes.com, stuff like that. Homes.com will also come up with theirs as well too. How they can also capture that market, but it does expose your listing as well. Rather than what Compass is doing. Compass is more, in-house. You have to be a Compass agent to be able to, because they're doing a lot of deals in-house. A lot of real estate brokerage companies. So that's just exactly what's going on.
Got it. Absolutely. Thank you, Ben. Yeah.
And someone from Bright will be here next month. But I'll try to get those answers before.
Yeah.
But he'll be here next month also.
Yeah, and I just put my email in the chat, so if anyone needs help setting one up or has more questions, I'm around. And I know it's different, I know it's new, but there aren't a lot of downsides to it. I enjoy these conversations because I get your point of view on the situation as well, and it just helps me with my conversations with other brokerages and such.
All right, thank you so much.
Mark, before you go, this is Joey. I have one quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
I have been in business for 13 years now, and I had a lot of reviews on Zillow, and about last year somehow my profile got deleted, and I have zero reviews. they just vanished. And I tried to send several emails to Zillow to find out what's going on, and I got no response. Do you have any? Has it happened to anybody else? And what should I do?
I've got your name here. I don't know specifically, like, if that's happened before that happens. Is it all of them or like a good chunk
All
of
of
them?
them. No,
All of them.
0 reviews. That's it. About 156 reviews, 5
You didn't
stars.
start a new account, did you?
No,
Okay.
as a consumer, I try to look myself. It doesn't even list me as an agent.
Okay. I do not know, but I will find out or try to find out. So I have your name, and I'll get your email from the roster here, and then I'll just take next steps, and you'll hear back from me today, either an update
Appreciate
or
that.
yeah. Sorry about that. That's
No
not
worries.
not ideal.
Yeah. No, thank you.
No problem.
Anybody else? Rita, you good?
No more, that is it. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Sorry, I got tongue tied a couple times, but I know it's a lot of information. But if I don't, if I didn't get enough good answers here, let me know, and I can kind of follow up.
And he responds quickly, guys. So if you have a question for Zillow Preview, he's
Yeah.
not for all of
I've been
Zillow.
bothering Siobhan a lot, so yeah. All right. Well, you guys have a great day and a great weekend.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.